Hey guys, what's up and welcome to another episode of Talk Nerdy to Me. Now this episode is going to be a little bit special, and that's because you guys have been smashing in the comment section and I've had messages and emails about it where you've all wanted me to do a video about my businesses and companies and stuff. You just general business questions, I guess, and mainly like just how I did it or some general advice and tips and all that kind of stuff. So in this episode of Talk Nerdy to Me, I'm going to talk to you about business.
Talk nerdy, talk nerdy. Talk nerdy to me.
Okay guys, so the first point that I want to give you for if you're thinking about starting a business or a company or you want to be an entrepreneur is there are three main things. First one is time management with productivity, that's one thing. The second thing is going to be communication, and the third thing is going to be honesty. Now, honesty might seem like a weird thing for me to just say that I recommend that as like one of the most important things for being an entrepreneur. And I'll get to that and you'll understand why. So first of all, let's talk about time management. Time management is the most important thing for anyone who's going to be not only a manager or just in general a business owner, company owner, or an entrepreneur. And the reason for this is because whenever you go to start your startup company or whatever, you know, it's normally going to start up as a passive income thing on the side type of deal. So you're still going to be working a 9-to-5 job. And it is so important that you time manage yourself well so that you're focusing while you're at 9-to-5 on your employer, what he's paying you to do. And then once you finish that, switch over to your baby, switch over to your company, your business idea, your startup, all that type of stuff, you know? So once you get home, you're going to roughly have probably like maybe 4 or 5 hours before, you know, maybe you can fit that in before going to bed and still having enough energy to still do your 9-to-5, then come home again, do that again, get enough sleep so you still have enough energy because your priority is still going to be your 9-to-5 job. It is not fair for you to be focusing and thinking about your baby, you know, which is your company or your startup business, right, on the side while you're working 9-to-5 for this employer. He's paid you to do a certain job, so, you know, try your best to focus on that. Me personally, I did struggle with that as well, but as long as you're doing your best, you know, and I guess really try to focus and honor the person, you know, while you're trying to do this is really important. Now, another reason why time management is so important is because if you can't manage your time well, how do you expect your future employees to do it as well? So one of the most frustrating things for me as a business owner is if I had staff that were not managing their time well. Say, I gave them like a list of 6 things to do. They only got like 1 thing done. And I'm like, what happened to the other 5 things? And like, oh, that 1 thing took me forever. You know, I had to do this, I had to do that, and I had to do this. When I've personally done that 1 thing and I did it in 5 minutes kind of thing, right? You know, that's like, I really struggle with that. I'm like, I don't understand why it took that person all day to do that, or I don't understand why they didn't do this or do that, right? So for me, that's a big thing, right? If I can go there and show them then how I do it, all right, then all of a sudden they're like, oh, I understand. And then they can just replicate what I did, right? And everything's fine. So, you know, time management is super important. Your employees are always watching you. They're always seeing what they can get away with, and not in a malicious way, but more of just like, you know, like, how can I act around my boss, right? Because you're the boss, right? They're always kind of like, oh, that's my boss. Can I be nice to him? Can we be friendly with him? Can I have a casual relationship with him, or is it just boss and employee all the time? You know, like, they're always watching you. So if they see you flick out your phone and check Facebook, sure, it might be for checking your business Facebook page. But if they see that, and they see that a lot, they're gonna all of a sudden start to disrespect you, because even though you might be doing business on Facebook, they're just seeing you pulling out your phone and switching off around you, and all they see is Facebook, right? It doesn't matter if it's a business page. They are straight away going to lose respect for you because they're doing all the work and they feel like they're doing all the work, yet they're seeing you on your phone. And even if they don't see the screen, it's still going to look like you're playing like games or stuff like that. So, you know, things like that is always be aware of how people look at you, especially when you're the boss. Okay? Can't stress that enough, right? Another thing, productivity. I said that productivity tags on with time management, and that's because it kind of tags into how I was talking about before, how, like, you know, if I could do something in 5 minutes, but the other person took too much longer, and then I show them, right? So productivity is where you're just always thinking of ways to do things faster, more efficient, and better just in general. So like killing 2 birds with 1 stone, you know, that saying. So always be like, okay, I have 10 minutes to do this. Sweet, I got it done in 10 minutes exactly, but was there a way that I could do that in 5 minutes? Like this particular job, how can I do this more efficiently so we don't waste more time on keeping this car in the workshop? Like, what's the best way that we can get a car in, put the modification parts on it or put the new parts on it, fix it, do it, ship it out right away, done, gone. Like what's the quickest way that we can just get cars in and out so that we can turn over maximum profit, more like customers coming through the door and stuff like that. So, these are constantly things that you need to be thinking about. Next step is going to be, as I said, communication. Now, communication is so flipping important. If you think that you can be an entrepreneur or a business owner or a company owner and struggle really bad at communicating to people with the basics of things, then you really need to work on your communication and practice. Because if you can't communicate things clear and to the point and not beat around the bush, you need to be as clear and as firm and really communicate things well to say, this is what I want, or this is what we need, this is what I need you to do, this is where you need to improve, right? If you keep beating around the bush, things are going to fall apart around you. So communication is really important. Be clear, be precise, don't be offensive, don't use bad language. Bad language is a big no-no in the workforce. I don't care what company you work for, what type of trade environment, language is not good. It looks terrible if your customers hear it. It's completely and totally unprofessional. I could go on, right? There are these certain things that really you need to, they may seem like little things, but they make you stand out from the rest like a sore thumb. Everyone just looks at you and they're like, oh my gosh, there's something different about these guys and I can't quite put my finger on it, but they're just so much better than everyone else. If you follow just these little things like that, you'll be very successful. The next thing I want to talk about, I kind of just only brushed on communication, but I think you guys get the point. Communication is important. I will just quickly also add is that communication is also very important because of how you communicate to your customers. If you can't communicate to your customers well, and especially always being polite and things like that, then obviously, without your customer, there's no paycheck for you or your employees, and your business will cease to exist. So communication, without it, you have no company, you have no business. You will not be successful. I know that's a kind of a mean thing to say, but it's the truth. So the third thing is honesty. Why would I say honesty? That kind of seems like such a bizarre thing, right? I say honesty because business has this really weird kind of cloud around it where lots of people are just completely dishonest with their customers. There actually seems to be a culture with business and companies and stuff where they feel like their customers don't need to know everything. In fact, you've probably heard this saying, normally it's, the customer's always right, but some people jokingly say this a lot, which is the customer's never right, they just need to think they're right. So anyways, there just seems to be a lot of dishonesty in general with a lot of business. So honesty is super important because if you're honest to your customers, if you're honest to your staff, if you're honest to your friends and family and just anything in general, I think in life, if you're honest, things will always, sometimes it might hurt, sometimes it might affect you in a bad way because you're just, being honest and real and you made a mistake or something, but it's going to reward you, right? Especially with your customers. So for me, the mandate with Otaku Garage is customer service had to be next level. So many mechanics in Australia rip people off. I know this is kind of a bit of a grotesque thing to say, but a lot of people go to a mechanic and walk away feeling like they've been raped by them. Literally, they will get an invoice from them when they went in for a $200 service and it says $4,000. They didn't get communication from the mechanic saying he was going to do all this stuff to their car, but they just get there and the guy says, I'm not giving you your car till you pay it. And they're like, what? I came in for a $200 service. And the mechanic's like, yeah, well, I couldn't let your car leave because it was so unready and all this stuff, blah, 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 and I'm not letting you take the car till you pay the bill. Without even communicating to the customer what the issue was, or not even calling them beforehand and saying, hey, we put your car up on the hoist to do the oil change and everything, and we've noticed all these issues, you can't drive, this is really unsafe. Sure, you can take it home with you, but that's at your own risk. I cannot recommend you do that. It really needs to be fixed, whatever it is, right? That's important. Communicate to the customer always. Just say, hey, we've done an inspection, Always let the customer know that, hey, thank you for choosing us. Thank you for paying my wage. Thank you for enabling me to make a bigger, better business and company. Thank you for enabling me to reach my dream, to reach my goal. You know, this is how you need to look at your customers. This is how Japanese culture looks at their customers. And this is where I got my inspiration from for how we treat customers. In Japanese culture, when someone enters their business, they say, "Irashaimase." Now that is something that you guys have probably heard, seen on anime, or if you've come to Japan, you've experienced that. You know, you walk into a ramen shop and they're like, "Irashe," which is the shortened version of "Irashaimase," right? Anyways, there's no simple translation for it. It means multiple sentences in English for interpretation, right? And if I was to just name off a few, it's like walking into, let's say if a customer walked into a Taku garage to get a service, the moment they walk through the door, I'm saying, "Good morning, how are you?" If it's morning, of course. "Good morning, how are you? Thank you so much for choosing to come into my business. Thank you so much for choosing to spend your money here. I am so humbled that you would choose my business out of all of the rest to come and visit and spend your money with." And it just goes on and on and on and on and on. That is what that one phrase means in Japanese. And that is something that I want customers to feel when they come to my business. Sure, I don't have my guys yelling "Irashaimase," or although that kind of would be a cool idea. So maybe I will get them to try and do that. That'd kind of be fun, right? Anyways, sure, I don't have them saying that, right? But I make sure that they understand that they need to treat the customer with the uttermost respect, that they're paying their wage, that they really understand what the customer is to the business, what the customer is to them as an employee. Without the customer, they have no job. Without the customer, my business ceases to exist. If you can't understand that basic principle and treat your customers well, then, like I just said, your business will cease to exist. So they're the three main points. Now, I know that's a lot to just kind of cram in for 3 points, but I really wanted to get my point across. And I'm so passionate about this because there are so many businesses and companies out there that just do it all wrong and still just burn through people and then eventually disappear and go bankrupt. And that's not the way to run a business. People just get left with a bad taste in their mouth. And, because they saw a business modeled so wrongly to them, they never even want to look at starting a business themselves because they just think it's going to end in failure, or, the people who are business owners are douchebags who rip everyone off. We're not that. Not all of us, at least. Okay, so it's time for some encouragement. And you're probably wondering, what do you mean by encouragement? Now, in general, encouragement's great in the workforce, and it is super important, and you should always encourage your employees and encourage yourself and anyone involved in your business, right? That's important, but I'm not talking about applying that to your business, right? I already gave you the 3 most important steps, I feel. Encouraging you guys to do the same, encouraging you guys to start a business, encouraging you guys to start a company, become an entrepreneur, and work for yourself. My best advice to you is get off your butt and just start it. Just do it. Learn as you go. I think the biggest trap that people fall into is they want to work for themselves. They want to have their own business and company. They have great ideas, but they're just I don't know where to start. And that's the trap, thinking that you don't know where to start. Because you do know where to start, it just means you just start doing it. You know what you want to do, so just start researching it, start Googling it. You have a laptop or a computer where you can access the internet, and pretty much any piece of information there you can get access to. So don't tell me you don't know where to start, right? You can find out. You can, ask people around, ask other people who are friends that are business owners and stuff like that. Get advice. But don't sit down and just always be yeah, I really want to do this. One day I'll do this. One day I'll do this. If you keep saying that, it'll always just happen, and then eventually you'll give up. You'll always keep saying, one day I'll do this. One day I'll become a millionaire. One day I'll own a business. One day I'm going to start this business. That's depressing, guys. Just start it. Get off your butt and do it. I don't care. If you don't know where to start, I'm repeating myself now. You get my point. Get off your butt and do it. Learn as you go. If you make a mistake, you make a mistake. You learn from it. You improve on it. You get better. You get more successful. What can I say? I really think that a lot of you guys who commented and wanted this type of video from me was because you guys, want to do the same thing. You want to become a business owner or, work for yourself. And I really want to encourage you guys to do it. It's the best thing you'll ever do. I could go into so much more emphasis and detail on, business structure and all this type of stuff, which I can in the future. If you guys pop down in the comment section, tell me that, what more information you want. But yeah, guys, just do it. Get out there and start something, make a legacy for yourself. And the best thing about being a business owner, the best thing about owning a company or being an entrepreneur is that you have the ability to change the future. You have the ability to make the world a better place. That is how I look at what I do. I want to be able to change the world. I want to leave something behind that someone can step off my shoulders and take it and make it better than what I could. And that's the best way you need to look at it. That's how you need to run your business. Because if you don't, then there's nothing different between you and the rest. Well guys, this has definitely been a different video. I've never filmed anything like this on this channel, but you guys requested it, so here it is. So tell me in the comment sections what you thought about this video. Tell me if you liked it, tell me if you hated it, and tell me if you want to see more in-depth videos like this. Obviously I couldn't do every bit of advice and information that I wanted to tell you in one big video. I actually tried to film this a few times and it was just way too long, like an hour long. So yeah, tell me what you think. Tell me if you want more, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And while I'm talking about subscribing, I have to say to you guys, my channel's now 12 months old and I'm nearly at 3,000 subs and I'm over the moon. I'm absolutely just passionate and excited about where this channel's heading. And I have to say it's all thanks to you guys. And I just really want to emphasize you're a part of this journey with me. As I said before, in this video, I said that I want to leave an impact on this earth. I want to change the world. I want to influence people down a good path, or an encouraging path. You know what I mean? Just change the world for something better, not just for my personal gain. You guys are all a part of that journey because you're here supporting me, watching my videos, and I'm very grateful to you. So I just want to say thank you. And with that, I'll catch you all next time. Ja mata ne.